set this up oftentimes is I wrestle from space a lot, but you can also obviously do it through your thighs. But I just like closing the distance. Simply just closing the distance, and he's gonna have to touch it. He's gonna have to grab me, or I can just grab his leg, right? So he posts one side or another. Side. I'm going thumb down, right? Just key things, simple things. Thumb down, rotating, pulling this across my body, and then rotating his wrist up and out. Rotate it down, you end up all twisted up. Rotate it up and out. Attack this armpit deep with the other arm. And then from here, I'm really pulling this tight and applying pressure on this. And this is the first spot where I'm kind of being patient. Because I want to feel the resistance that I'm looking for before I transition to the next part. But again, closing the distance, letting him post on me, or I let him post on him, because that just makes him engage with me. Tie-ups. Some guys will just tie up with you anyway. Opposite hand, thumb down, pulling across, rotating this wrist up and out, attacking deep under the armpit, and then I'm pulling this tight. And what this is going to do, I'm really overemphasizing this because it's going to force him to want to get his arm back. He's going to want to get his arm back anyway, but it's really going to want to make him bend his elbow, which is exactly what I want, and it leads me to where I want him. So I pull this arm straight, and then I punch his wrist to his chest as he's trying to pull his elbow, bend his elbow back. Now I'm in a great position to freely grab my own wrist. And I'm grabbing my own wrist with my palm down. I'm not trying to go underneath. I'm not trying to do this. It might hurt a little bit, but it's not going to do anything functionally. This is the most secure position you can get in a key lock. It's the most mobile. You can move around. You can attack different positions here. Here, it's way limiting. It might hurt him a little bit, but that's, when our adrenaline's up, it doesn't really even hurt that bad. And then you don't have one, you can't really get to your attacks as well. And I just feel like it's not as secure. And one point, I'll tell you why, with his own elbow. I'll explain a little later, but if you're here, this elbow is far out, and that's not really a good thing in terms of securing this position. Even here too. So I like going palm down, grabbing your own wrist. Punch his chest with his wrist. Palm down, grab my own wrist here. Once I got this, the main thing in this key lock to really secure the position is this elbow. His own elbow's gotta be deep in my armpit. I've gotta be pinching his elbow. Pinching his elbow here. So once I get this, I gotta make sure I usually use the wrist hand, his wrist, the hand that I have his wrist in, to drive it back, pressure it back deep into my armpit. That helps a lot. And then pinch his elbow. And once I have his elbow pinched, I'm in a really good spot to be able to control this tie and kind of be patient about it. It's gonna be very difficult for him once I pinch this elbow and I've got this tight to get out of here. And then what I like to do when I'm teaching anybody this is I just have them feel this position because it's a little bit different. It's not something that we're used to being, it's not a position we're used to being in all the time. And I remember when I first learned this position, it felt really awkward, and I was like, well, I don't know if this is going to be, I don't even know if I'm going to use it because it's just not comfortable. But after a while, I practiced it enough, and it got really comfortable for me, and you realize how effective it is, how much control you have, and how little he can threaten me. He doesn't have, he really can attack me. I have to throw his whole arm. I also have the angle on him, and all these different attacks open up for me. So, just to rewind, closing the distance, forcing the post, attacking his hand, thumb down, rotating across, rotating his wrist up and out, deep in the armpit, just like a normal Russian. Here, important to really pull at this, keep it tight. Number one, that's really how we operate our Russian 2-on-1 anyway. This is where we want to be anyway. This applies the most pressure, and this secures this arm to our body, right? We never really want to be loose here, unless we're trying to work from space, wrists. you want to keep this tight anyway, but I like to kind of just really overemphasize pulling this and forcing him to want to really bend that elbow. Once I feel that resistance to trying to bend the elbow, I punch it to his chest, grab my own wrist, palm down. Now, I drive this wrist under my armpit and pinch. Drive this wrist under my armpit and pinch. Once I got this, now I've got the key lock secured. Now, the next focus is my pressure. Where's my pressure? It's not down, it's down, but it's not behind the shoulder. All the pressure is attacking the shoulder. So if my shoulder is behind his shoulder and I'm trying to pressure down, I'm really pressuring down on nothing. And you'll find that if you're teaching this, a lot of your wrestlers are going to want to pressure them down, but then their shoulder's going to slip. It's going to stay high. The shoulder's going to slip down below. Exactly. And you're not going to apply much pressure there. So it's important that you have your shoulder over the top, above his shoulder, and then pressuring over the top and down. Instead of just straight down, go over the top and down, like this. And sometimes I even bring it shallow, like it's almost just really low on his shoulder, but almost his tricep. I'm not worried about that. So long as that elbow's behind this. This elbow's out here, and I'm trying to pressure this. I mean, it just doesn't make sense, right? It's just loose. I don't have control here. I don't care how strong my hands are. I'm not going to be able to keep this, and I'm definitely not applying any pressure. Even if my shoulders go to the top, it's not applying much pressure at all. So the key thing in terms of the positioning for this, obviously palm down, grabbing your own wrist, and keeping this elbow deep and tight. Boom. Keep it secured there. And then for the pressure and the piece where we can really start controlling him and setting up our attacks is this shoulder. Over the top of the shoulder. And why I say it can even be at the tricep is you don't want to be trying to fish over right over the top of the shoulder for any reason, for any particular reason. It's okay to be shallow there. You just have to make sure that elbows in there at all times. Elbows in his armpit, I'm pitching. And I can get real heavy here. I mean, he's not really going to be able to stop me from bringing him down, hypothetically, right? He's going to be wrestling and moving and stuff and trying to yank it out and reacting. But just if I'm in this position, I have it secured with all the right details, and I just pressure him down, technically he's not going to be able to stop me from bringing him down to the ground. And that's an important piece to remember